Okay, I wasn't going to do this fourth video today, but this is really important. So Putin just got played. Now, it looked like Zelensky was getting played, but Putin just got played after Zelensky got played. So Putin won up Zelensky, Zelensky won up Putin. Okay, here's the background. So what's happened was roll back the clock a couple days to Paris, and Zelensky and the Ukrainians got some probably pretty bad news. What it looked like was something along the lines of, like, you're not really getting anything except maybe a ceasefire. The Russians, we might recognize Crimea and no NATO and whatever. And the Ukrainians walked away like, well, Zelensky's going to have to see this. The Rada's going to have to see this. And the message essentially was, nothing's going to happen with this. Okay. So that's where you hear Rubio start talking about how, if they don't want to come to the table, they don't come to the table. We're going to move on and do other things. And you start hearing Trump say the same kind of thing. And then it looked like a masterstroke politically for Putin to come out and do what he did, saying, we want to have a one-day ceasefire for Ukraine from 6 p.m. forward until 12 p.m. the next day. Okay. And while shot heads were still in the air and that sort of thing. Okay. That looked like a masterstroke because it looks like from Putin that he wants to play nice. But those Ukrainians, they want to keep firing and that sort of thing. Well, it looked like Putin had the upper hand. Then Zelensky came out and did this. He came out and said, okay, well, 30 hours isn't enough. Let's do 30 days. Of course, Putin's not going to go for that. He's going to try to use the propaganda, but that propaganda was neutralized because now Zelensky came out and said, we want a 30-day ceasefire. Let's do 30 days. Right? So it helps the Americans, it helps the Ukrainians, and it absolutely devastates or pours cold water on what Putin was going to be able to do, which was going to be able to say, well, we tried to have a ceasefire and those Ukrainians, they violated it left, right, and center. So Zelensky just outplayed Putin. All right. Tell me what you think about this. I thought this was brilliant. I saw what Putin did and I thought, wow, I got to give him credit for this. That was slick. I'm not saying he's a good guy or anything like that, but that was a good move. And then Zelensky outmaneuvered him. All right, my friends, that's all that I have. Thank you for your time, the likes, the shares, and the subscribes. And thank you for being the kind of person that cares about Ukraine.